Alright, welcome to the Man Cave. I'm with my Navy buddy, Ron.
Howdy.
And I put up a Navy flag for September 11th in honor of Ron coming out from St. Louis to go to the KTM Adventure Rally. And so this topic is going to be called A Tale of Three 690's. And we're getting comfortable with our tea. He's got a Colorado cup. I got my KTM cup. So Ron, how do you if I remember right, my first KTM, I had a KTM before you.
Yes.
And then you were going to go out and buy a KTM because we were going to ride Moab in 2015.
I think so, yeah, that's right.
Okay, so I think we're both in the. So what happened is way I called you up. You're going to get a KTM, and so I thought you were going to buy a 500.
Yeah, you said go out and buy a 500 so we'll have the same bike.
Right, so we know we have the same capability.
I don't follow instructions very well, I guess.
Well, you got to keep in mind, Ron and I shared a Norton P11 Scrambler back and forth. I bought a Yamaha DT1. He bought Yamaha DT1s. We had Yamaha 305s. We did a bunch of things. We started riding together in 1966, and at Key West, Florida.
Yep.
So I had an Enduro, like that one over there, but it was a 500. And so next thing I know, Ron goes out, gets a KTM, but what does he buy?
I was thinking about a KTM, and I had a Moto Guzzi Stelvio that was way too heavy for me, and a DRZ, but I thought that the DRZ wouldn't be very good for Moab, I didn't think. So I wanted to condense down to one bike that I ride. So I went down to the KTM dealer. I hopped on a 500. I couldn't touch the ground. I said, this ain't happening. So then I got on the 690. I said, this is it. So that's why I went with the 690. Well, I was looking for something, but I wanted something that was a little more off-road, adventure.
But another reason you didn't want to get the 500, if I recall, because I was very upset about it. I was really, but you said because of where you live in Alton, Illinois,
yeah,
that the type of riding you do, they just don't have a lot of gravel, dirt roads to be on, and you spend most of your time on highways.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been practical for me. I would have had to, trailer it someplace or something. I wouldn't ride one of those from Illinois to Colorado.
Right.
I mean, especially with the maintenance. Especially with the maintenance. I mean, if you followed the instructions, you'd ride the 500 out to Colorado and change the oil. Ride around Colorado for a little while, change the oil, go home, change the oil, and it wouldn't be practical for me.
Yeah, so it was like 500 miles or is it 15 hours?
Yeah.
On the Enduros. So they're high performance bikes. So he buys a 690. And to me, of course, I'm kind of I go, damn, Ron, you got a 690. I don't know where that thing can go, where it can't go, and I don't want to be lead you astray and go into some place that I can go with my 500 that you can't go with your 690. So I said, I'm going to buy one. So immediately I start calling around, and there was only one KTM 690 left in the United States, and that was in Festus, Missouri, which is just one state away from where Ron lives. And so I call him up, I put a deposit on the phone, and of course I had to pay max retail for it. There was no discounting that sucker. He even wanted to charge me a premium for it. And so I deadheaded it out there. It was like 500 miles, I guess, to get to Festus, Missouri.
Closer to 8.
800?
Yeah, so I think that's what I've got on this trip is 800 miles.
All right, well, so I drove out in one day. Ron met me there, and then we bought the thing, and it wasn't even ridden. I mean, these things in 2015, they didn't stay on the floor long enough for even the mechanics to try them out. So anyway, so we loaded up the truck, and then I headed home.
Yeah.
So, and because we were going to Moab in 2 weeks?
Pretty close to that, yeah.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks I had to get my bike set up so that we can go riding together. Then Ron comes out, and then we head over there and we start riding around. So the first videos on my channel you'll see in 2015 when I'm on the 690, that was a result of it.
Yeah, I wanted to buy mine at the local dealer called Moto Europa, but they didn't have one, so I had to go to the equivalent of a big box store, Big Motorsports in St. Charles, to get mine. I've never been back, by the way.
Oh, I cannot stand those big box stores. I'm trying to find a place for this camera to sit. That's not too bad. Yeah, so I think I'm in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the one I bought it at was, you remember what it's called?
Surdike.
Sturdike?
Surdike.
Surdikes. Oh man, talk about box store to the max. They wanted to nickel dime everything and sell me long-term insurance and extended warranty, and I'm paying cash for that sucker, and I had to sign stuff to agree about financing terms and stuff. I says, hey, come on, I'm just buying the thing. Let me out of here. And she said, well, you need to consider the warranty. Well, it's an off-road bike. No one's going to warranty an off-road bike. And so anyway, so we started riding, and what I discovered for myself was that this is the best all-around motorcycle ever built. And I've been riding since 1957. Ron started in 1966 when I introduced him to it, and he became a fanatic as far as traveling and doing stuff over the years and racing vintage. And so we're into the 690. So I thought for this video, we did a comparison video when we first bought these things. Here's the two 2015s, and as you can see, they've undergone a lot of changes. We could move them out in the sun, make it a little bit easier to see, but and 2 years ago, so we've now been riding these for 4 years. How many miles you got on yours?
Almost 23,000.
All right, so I'm only at 15,000. So me and Deacon don't ride as hard and far as he does. So
well, I probably have more, but my wife retired, so now we haul them around, and so that she can go with me.
Oh, all right. That's true. At the last rally.
Yeah, last two.
Last two?
Been there. Yeah.
So we're going to be riding ours up to the KTM rally in Breckenridge, and I guess we can still see these okay. So I ended up, because over that 2.5, 3 years ago, we bought a place in Mexico, and I'd ridden this bike down to Baja. You can see this got Baja stickers, right? And got it, spent the last 4 years making changes to it to make it set up that Deacon can ride it. I sold all my single track bikes, my KTM 500 and my KTM 300 6-day, because I didn't want to fall down anymore, so I thought I'd play it safe. Ron has this saying that I remember. It is,
when the tough get going, I turn around and go the other way.
now when the going gets rough.
When the going gets rough, I turn around and go the other way.
All right, so we're both getting a little senile. So anyway, so I got this thing in Mexico, but because we got permanent residency, you can see we can get a San Carlos sticker. They won't let me ride in the mainland with USA plates. So that was the reason by the 2019 690, because I now have Sonora plates. But before we get into this bike, which you guys have been following along on all my videos, let's just talk about the evolution of Ron's bike as compared to the evolution of my 2015, which has been rehashed several times with other people. So Ron, tell us about your motorcycle and how it got to this particular point. What's the very first thing you changed on your bike?
Seat.
Yep. All right.
I rode it 30 miles. I came back home.
Seat concept,
ordered a
seat.
new seat.
Number one thing you have to get on your bike: a seat concept seat. So all three of these guys have that, right? All right, next thing. What'd you do?
Probably the gas filler.
All right.
Got really old gas cap.
So you had the, this was the CJ Designs, and you bought this, and I immediately had to buy one too, but it had the Acerbis plastic cap like what's over here. All right, and put that little vent on there. And when I went to, because Vanasche was helping me out, when I bought this one for the 2019, had this cap. Ron saw this cap on it, and he kept worrying about losing his cap, and so.
Well, I didn't like the plastic cap. It was hard to get on and off.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get. It feels like it's always trying to cross thread.
Yeah. And mine leaking. Last time I fell over, it was leaking from around the cap. So, all right. Second thing.
I had a tether on mine, on my plastic cap. But I saw this and I thought, I want that.
Okay.
A better cap for it.
Okay, what's the next thing you did?
Oh boy.
Wasn't the wings exhaust?
Yeah, wings exhaust.
All right, so he got this, and I said, wait, we got these out of Slovenia?
Yeah, someplace like that.
All right, so the wings comes out of Slovenia, and we thought we'd have to wait forever for them, but no, they just, in 3 days, they come over. So both of our bikes has the wings, and you get a free t-shirt, and so I went ahead and bought the wings on the 2019 also. Okay, next thing. Steering damper?
Steering damper, probably.
Okay, you bought the GPR4 as a departure from my Scots. Scots is probably the most famous and started the whole thing. With BRP mounts, I wanted the steering damper. I've been off-road enough to where you hitting rocks that turned the wheel, and I don't want to fall down. This had the BRP risers because I'm kind of tall, and then Ron also has risers on his.
Yeah, those are ROX risers. I had those.
They're called what?
ROX, ROX.
Okay.
I had those on my Moto Guzzi, so I stuck them on there.
Okay, so on this bike, because I got it from the fairing from Nomad-ADV, I got this rally moto out of Australia. I don't have risers on it yet. It does come with a mount that raises it up an inch, and I'll try that out. So we both had, I remember on that trip out to Moab, we stopped by the KTM store in Gunnison, right? And we argued over which color. They only had two in stock, right?
Yeah.
And there was the orange, and then there was the black. And I took the black, he grabbed the orange, but evidently he was jealous of my black ones and swapped his out for the black instead of the orange. All right.
Yeah, when we went out on that the trail, and you went up that hill, and you stopped and it tipped over, and you broke the end off of your brake lever, and that's when we said, well, we better get something a little more substantial than that.
So there's so many changes that Ron has done to this thing. It's going to be hard to cover them all. When did you do the fairing idea?
The fairing I got right away, but this fairing comes out of Canada, and
it's a Lynx.
Lynx, yeah. It's
all right.
Britannia Composites is the name of the company.
Okay.
It's called a Lynx fairing.
And when you brought it out, I mean, you wanted it because so you can put your gauges up and see them better and get a windshield.
Yeah, better headlight.
Okay. But when I rode his bike, we went out to a motocross track in IMI out by Deacon, Colorado. That thing was so heavy because these are attached to the forks, and every time you'd turn the fork left or right, the thing would fall over on it, and it just drove me nuts. So when I was looking at windshields,
especially when you get all of the GPS and everything else on it, it makes the steering awfully heavy.
Okay. So I was looking for a windshield for Deacon, and I tried the ones that came on the stock ones, but the windshields always kind of came right up to the front. So I found the Alberto Dettori fairing, which is attached to the frame. That was my criteria. It had to be frame mounted. I like the Dakar type bikes, and so I got that all bolted up, changed the wiring. Oh, and I did get the MotoMinded lights, and I don't know if I got those before him or not, but I think you got yours first.
Yeah.
And then I got the MotoMinded, so I got more brightness, and that was on the stock one, but that was ported over to the fairing.
So I like the lights on this one, and I like the wind coverage and everything. So, but I didn't like it being on the handlebars. So I fabricated a bracket to move
So this is very clever on how he did this.
To move the fairing up. This is still kind of prototyped because I needed to know how far forward it needed to be, how thin the bracket had to be, and so I've kind of got it all where I want it now. So now I'm going to, I think I'm going to do some more to beef it up a little bit.
Okay.
But you can see
well, that's interesting. You moved your rectifier or up here. Normally it's down here.
Yeah, I got one of those F mount, C mount, CMOS. Anyways, it's a different kind of a regulator.
Oh.
And when I got that, I moved it up here where it was a little more in the airstream.
So why did you need to change the regulator?
I didn't think it was charging like it should. So.
Oh. Does it increase the?
Yeah, it does better now.
Okay. I thought that was a function of the alternator.
It's supposed to be more efficient the way it charges.
Okay. So let's see. Why did you go to the low fender that you see on BMWs and stuff like that versus staying with the high one?
Or the Dakar rally bikes.
Yeah, we won't mention that.
You see low fenders on those too.
So
I don't know. I like a low fender better than
All right.
It gives a little more protection, especially if you're out on the road.
All right. Well, I like the idea of the high one just simply because it looks more off-road.
Mm-hmm. But this one will give you better wind or better rain. You know, if it's the rain, you're in the rain and it's flicking water all over the place. This will dampen that a lot more.
Where'd you get that from? Is that an aftermarket?
This is actually a fender off of a 950 Adventure.
Really? Okay. And then you painted it, or?
No, it came that color. You could get different colors if you wanted. I put the white on it and the reflective strip.
Okay.
But
oh, now skid plates. That was one of the early mods.
Yeah, that was.
So this is the one that's out of Kansas, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a Flatlander.
Yeah, Flatland Racing.
Yeah.
All right. So.
And another thing I got from Flatland Racing a little later was my radiator guard. that goes back to the frame, so it protects the radiator, and then it has these slots on the front, so it protects it from rocks too.
Okay.
And boy, you talk about a fit. I didn't have to do anything to it.
Really?
I just put it on there, bolted it up, and it was done.
And that was from Flatlands?
Flatlanders, yeah.
Interesting. So I didn't do that. I left a stock on my bike, but I did take the plastic bash plate and added some little wings to the side, and using some carbon fiber and fiberglass from my that I had sitting around from my rockets. You see the rocket up there?
I think you have an aluminum phobia.
Yeah, I didn't like the noise, but have you noticed a lot of noise coming off?
No.
But you wear earplugs all the time. Hi, Deacon. Hi. But on this one I did, because by now, at the time there was no carbon fiber or plastic skid plates, but Xavier, who in France, who has AXP Racing, came up with this plastic thing, and I went and put it on, and it's got guards on to cover the master cylinder as well as the shock. So on my bike, I got the Perun Moto guard right there. And what do you have on yours? Anything?
I got the plastic. Orange plastic. It's about to fade out.
Oh, and did you make that, or did that come from somebody?
I bought it.
All right, notice that he also has a Kubo link, because his inseam, it makes it difficult for him to get on and off the bike. And so then I'm actually thinking about doing that on my 2019, is lowering the bike to make it easier for me to get on and off. But after he did that, the Kubo link, he brought it by and we shortened on one of his trip out here and re-welded it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I see you've made additional changes since then.
Yeah.
Where you've made a different size foot that's built into it, so you don't have to buy a little expanded foot like that.
I found out too that when I put the Kubo link on it, it changes the ratios and you get a lot of sag when you sit on the bike, and so it's hard to get the stand up.
Oh.
So what I did is I put, this was just this summer, I ordered a new spring that's two sizes stiffer,
2 sizes stiffer.
and that helps a lot.
Do you know the part number?
I know I got it from that Stevens Racing.
Oh, Stephen, out of Colorado Springs,
I think so, yeah.
or someplace in Colorado.
And they had a chart there, and the standard is an 8, and then KTM sells an 8.5. And I went with 9.2.
Okay.
And that's kilograms per millimeter or something like that.
All right. Well, Jason Levy, who's another guy that's ridden with me, is he said I had too much sag when we rode in Moab and down in Mexico, and so he was saying that I needed a stiffer spring. So I'm not going to do anything more to this bike, but maybe on this bike after I lower it, then I'll do what Ron asked, and that'll get a little bit more orange on it. Let's see, something real quick. We both went to Doubletake mirrors, so this is the standard setup for the Doubletake mirror. I only run one on the left, because on the left hand side, because it gets in the way of my Deacon cam, and then my phone mount because of Deacon, as I put on that unit. Now I'm trying to see how much vibration I get using this camera with the RAM mount. We'll see how that goes. I can always put another one if I want to put a mirror and the camera, so maybe later on this afternoon. But Ron did something clever here. He actually modified another type of RAM mount, and he's got the mirror is sitting out here. It actually sticks out a little bit farther than it would be here and doesn't get in the way of his hands, and he can fold that sucker in this way if he's going off-road. So good job on that. Always monkeying around with it. There's nothing changes. Nothing stays static, I would say. Let's see. You've got, because of the stuff you put over here, you actually had to have a heated vest. At one point you had the heated
gloves.
Grips.
Yeah, I had heated grips, but I took them off because I don't like them that much.
All right, so what's this thing right here?
This is the control unit for my Trailtech computer.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna take a break for lunch, and then we'll get back after this and go over some more particulars. We'll all hop in the car. Okay, we're back from lunch. Now we'll continue talking about Ron's setup here. So Ron, you've got this additional switch that does your mode select between rain mode, standard, performance, and bad fuel.
Well, it's got two different modes.
That was like, okay.
This one is standard.
All right.
And then this one is whatever you have the switch under the seat set for.
Oh, okay.
So I have it for mud and rain.
Okay.
And then that way, if it's really slick, I can dial the throttle back a little
So
bit.
neither one of us really care about performance, right?
No.
We just don't get it on that much.
It's got plenty of power, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So we both bikes have got the dongle, the ABS dongle, that's controlled by this switch and the ignition. So I don't know if I need that. I still have not figured out this whole system on the 2019 with the traction control and the ABS. I'll have to talk to some more guys when we get up there. What's this down here? You got this little...
Oh, that's so I can fill my bottles. If I take I got a couple of 1.5 liter bottles, and I can fill those up there, and then put them on the bike, and then fill the tank up, and then I've got extra fuel. A lot of people do it at the gas station, but I never could figure out how to fill one of those from a pump
without it overflowing everywhere?
Without splashing it all over creation.
Oh, so if you're riding with a buddy, Mike, right, and he runs out of fuel, then you can actually take out some fuel here and give it to your friends.
Yeah, just don't put it in a styrofoam cup.
Oh, because it melts it.
You remember that in Key West?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody ran out of gas, and we pulled over to the side of the road, and we were gonna transfer some gas over, and there was a styrofoam cup. And we took the fuel line off and started to fill that, and as soon as it got to the bottom fell out of it. Yeah,
maybe they make styrofoam better nowadays.
So yeah, I've got that, and then over here in my tank bag.
Oh yeah, pop your seat. We can look at your Rottweiler.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be a little bit of a
Well, this
job.
is different. Which bag is this?
This is an Explorer or something. They don't make this one anymore. I got the last one that...
I like it. It's nice and stiff.
Yeah.
Did you add the stiffener to it?
Yeah, I put that Cadex in there.
Okay.
Put it in there. You see, I carry this. So I take this out. I hook it on the end of that and put it down into the container.
Okay.
And drain it out. And then whenever I go to put it in,
I see.
take this out. And I got this spout. I put this on here like this. And I extend it out like this. And then I take the cap off, put it in there, and then I can pour it into the bottle. Because otherwise, when the bottle's full, whenever you tip it up, you're pouring gas all over everything again. So it keeps everything nice and tidy.
Let's see, you got a little bell here.
Mm-hmm.
A superstition thing. Well, it looks like you've added rim locks.
Yeah. I got
So
bored.
you added a rim lock to it.
I got bored. I don't know that I need them, but
I've kept mine. I don't need rim locks because I keep my air pressure up really high.
Yeah.
And same thing goes in the 2019. If you're one of these guys that are led to believe that you have to lower your air pressure in order to be able to go anywhere in the sand or mud, then you need rim locks. So I added a rack finally in the last couple years for my saddlebags, and I went to a Wolfman RockyMountain saddlebags. I started out with these E21s, which I don't know if they sell anymore, but
These are the ones that are made out of a different material. I think they're the same, but they're made out of some kind of sailcloth material or something.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be lighter.
So
I got these, but I know they don't make them anymore.
Well, when you travel, is this enough luggage for you?
Sure.
Or do you put for how long? How many days can you travel with just using that size saddlebags?
Theoretically, as long as you wanted to. You just have to wash everything out at night.
Okay. All right. And you have a CPAT machine that you carry.
Yeah.
That takes up a lot of space.
I've decided I've got a messenger bag from Aerostitch.
Okay.
I make it waterproof, and I'm going to put the sleep machine inside that, and then it's a messenger bag that will cross your.
Okay.
And it'll sit behind me, and if you extend it down, it'll actually sit on the seat, and won't be pulling it back so much.
All right, that's a good idea. I've got a camera bag. I need to do that. So I had one thing I was thinking. You've gone so far as to change your lights to LEDs. I've replaced the rear bulb to an LED. Do you have one?
This is an LED now.
Okay.
Too.
So that's
I
nice.
had an incandescent in it for the longest time because I had this unit that was, when you slow down, it would flash your brake light.
Yeah.
Without putting the brake on. But that went south. But it wouldn't work with an LED.
Oh.
So,
okay.
But now I've got the unit that you have, that you did on your video. I've got that on here to flash the.
Oh, I was going to ask you if you wanted one because I have 4 of them.
No, I've got one.
Okay.
And so then I could put the LED in and it worked fine.
Where'd you put the module?
Under the seat.
Okay. Now I don't know if you want to take the seat off, but Ron did opt to go with the Rottweiler air cleaner, and you know I normally put my tools in the saddlebag, even though on the new 690 there's a toolkit right under here. So maybe I should look and see if that's going to be enough. Maybe I don't need to bring tools. But Ron went so far as to also mount his tire irons underneath here. And he's going to show you. And he's got another tire iron here for doing the, that's the axle.
Yeah,
wrench.
That one I can take off if I want to adjust the chain.
All right, but what do you do for the 12 and 13 and 10 millimeter?
They're on the back.
Okay.
And then the top.
All right. So with the Rottweiler air cleaner, he's got room for tools. So the rest of your tools are in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tire repair stuff, all that kind of stuff that I don't use normally. I put in there. And then to get to the tire irons over here, you have to take this cover off.
Okay. So where'd you put the flasher module?
Good question. Where is it? There it is.
Okay. It's not exactly the same, but okay. So I think I'll do that too.
That's
So you
what I
can
put
get
on.
to the yellow wire that's running to the rear
Mm-hmm.
this way. Maybe we could do that this afternoon. Oh no, I don't need to. I mean, I've already got it on this one.
Yeah.
I was only thinking of the 2015. I'm still in this mode of wanting to work on my 2015, and it doesn't. There's no need to do that, right? Because I may end up never riding it again, and unless I strip it down, or maybe sell it. So let's see. He didn't have to do things like stuff for Deacon. I added strobe lights. Front and rear that flash. You haven't done that. He did come up with this cute little hooky dooky thing here that he hangs his helmet on when you go into a bar or something like that.
Yep. I got the shorter levers.
All right. You know, I
So
tried those.
You can hold on to the bar with 2 fingers and then work the controls with the other 2 fingers.
Right.
So you don't ever have to let go.
Do you know what brand these are? Are these
Yeah,
those?
it's Midwest Mountain Engineering.
Okay.
And they changed the ratio so that it's easier to pull. So you use 2 fingers.
Okay.
And this was just one that I got off of eBay, I think, that fits on it.
All right.
Because these guys don't make a lever for that one. So I had a
All
silver one and a black one, and then I found these shorter ones. They're black,
Okay.
so that's what
Got a little throttle stop. I wanted to get one of those. Can you put this on and off without taking the guard off?
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd you get that?
Most supply places sell them.
All right. You're talking about most motorcycle shops?
You might be able to get them there. They have fancier ones too, with a little screw on it, so you can adjust it and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. But
Okay.
I don't. A lot of times, I don't ride along with it on, but whenever I want to do something over here, I'll push that down, lock the throttle, and then I can go back.
What model Garmin did you buy? Oh, that's a Zumo.
Yeah, this is.
Do you
Zuma.
prefer that?
Yeah, I just like to. I just like to see the maps. I like to know
Okay.
where I'm at. And then I went to one adventure ride, and they didn't give you GPS tracks. They gave you the old Enduro thing,
I see.
the old paper thing. So that's
Well,
when I got this. And then I got this so that I can reset the tents to the
Okay.
thing. So you know, if you
So-
like overshoot the turn, and you come back, then you can set it to what it should be, and that way you don't have to keep calculating. Let's say I want a half mile over, so I'm actually this or that.
All right. Well, I haven't done anything like that. That needs it. I don't know. Okay. Well, it's tires. I currently have a Continental TKC 70 that I got at the last Park City Adventure Rally. As you can see, it's hardly worn. And I just got done putting a Dunlop 908 Rally Raid, which I really like a lot. It's my go-to tire because I like the big center block that's running up this way. The D908 front is crap. I chunked the knobs off several times, so I don't put those on. I do like the tractionator on the front. Now on Ron, he's just recently. What do you have on the front?
This is Moto's
Moto Z. So,
Moto's.
okay, so is this the Desert AT?
No, this is the Rally, R-A-L-L-Z, Rallies.
Okay, MC54. All right, and then on the rear, it's also a Moto Z.
Moto Z,
And this is a really nice. Look how wide that thing is.
That's a Tractionator GPS.
Tractionator GPS. Now that's definitely going to be good on the highway because it's a continuous band this way, and then when you get off road, it's going to be in the sand or mud, and that's why I like this one. It's a little more aggressive, but it still has a center stripe for smooth highway traveling. For the first time in my experience, I've got the 2019 EU model. Comes with a minus E07, both front and rear. So we'll see. That's definitely nicer on the highway. we'll see how well it wears, and if I need to go to more aggressive knobbies like what comes on the USA version of the 690.
This tire can be mounted either direction.
Okay.
It's mounted for 50-50 now, but if you want to do it for mostly dirt, you can turn it around.
Really? Why would that make a difference?
The way the chevrons are, I guess, the way it grips.
Huh. That's
But I chickened out at the last minute and put it for the
Street?
50-50.
Okay. All right, so that's a good consideration. Is that a 140/18?
Yeah.
I assume this Midas is a 140/18. Don't know for certain.
Yeah.
It's right there. What is that? Yeah. 140/18. Midas. I don't know, Ron. Is that about it? So after we've owned these things for 4 years now, what's your bottom line?
Yeah.
Would you buy another one?
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. Well, I did in a heartbeat. You can see it. It's sitting right there. And now I have 5 more horsepower than you. Count them.
Yeah.
5. And
you have 5 more horsepower that I would never use.
that's right. Oh, we both have. You did the Rottweiler dongle, right? For the fuel dongle?
Yeah.
I don't think I did it over here. We both did the Cantisterectomy, so you'll see there's no canister under here on either one. And then the fueling dongle, because you can tell if somebody's done that, because the let me show you on this one. You'll see the, sorry, Deacon, you're in the way, or am I in your way? Yeah, so you see right there the this little guy here, that gets removed and plugged up. So that's an O2 sensor getting rid of. I didn't do that on mine, but I could.
I replaced my water hose this year.
Oh, did
I
you?
got one of these
Oh
ones.
yeah, speaking of radiators, we were talking about the flatland racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yours, I had fallen over and bent my radiator once. And I ended up having to go to a stiffener, which is this guy right here. It's a guard that stiffens up the radiator on both sides, and there's a metal bar that goes over it. So, so that's done a really good job. I think I'm trying to twist my radiator back to normal. I think that was at the Crest of Butte one in 2000.
Crest of Butte 1.
16, 15? When was Crest of Butte? Let's look.
I got one for 17, and I've got one for SFW.
This one here, 2015 Crest of Butte Rally. I fell down and twisted the radiator. And I think over a couple of years, I must have nicked it because it started leaking on me. So, I think that's about it. We'll go back to preparing for our trip and pack up our bags. And everything I'm doing on the 2019, you guys can see on all my video series that I've been doing on the build.
Here's
So,
a couple of things I did too. I was concerned about this bolt here punching a hole in the radiator. So I took a piece of aluminum angle, and if you come back around this way, aluminum angle, and stuck it in here to where that this bolt now will hit that instead of the soft.
okay.
Now it spreads the
Oh, I do
impact.
see you have a case cover here.
Oh yeah, I got these. This is from Twisted Throttle.
All right, and you have
And
a
it
different
says-
brake lever.
Yeah, I got a different brake lever.
Who's that from?
This is Vanasche.
Vanasche? Okay.
But these cases, they said, would fit a 690 Enduro. They don't. They're for a Duke. So you have to do some creative trimming on them to get them in.
Oh. Yeah, I'm used to trimming.
Now the other side fits great, but this one not so much.
Looks like you're missing something. Maybe not. Oh yeah, you're missing. Did you paint this black?
No, I bought new plastic. This is a black. I don't remember what year it's off of. And then these side covers, I never liked those side covers.
Okay.
Enduro on them. I don't know why, I just don't like them. So I got these orange ones that are off of that.
Does it come with the graphics?
Yeah. I think this is 2012
Oh.
graphics.
We just made your bike look old then.
Yeah. But I like this. It says KTM on it. You can't really tell like that's KTM.
Alright. So I was going to wonder if I was to sell my bike, do I get rid of all the plastic? I think I could. Is this part the tank?
Yeah, that's a tank.
Oh, okay. I was just saying it'd be nice to keep all the plastic and hang it up on the wall so I know where I've been on my bike. Deacon and Ron and I, we thank you for watching. We'll try to post this before we leave.